So this storm could have major impacts for millions of people across the South. First Alert meteorologist Ella Dorsey has been tracking this all week long. What is the latest that we can expect, Ella?
So new information. It now looks like the precipitation might start a little later on Saturday. Okay, so that's some good information for you. It means you could probably still get some last minute things done Saturday morning. Okay. Dry morning with freezing rain. Looks like it starts sometime Saturday afternoon and evening. That freezing rain continues all night Saturday night in most of the day on Sunday. Roads are very, very slick through the day on Sunday. Dry on Monday. Everything will move out Sunday night, but on Monday we barely make it above freezing, so all that moisture is going to lock in and the roads are probably still going to be very slick through the day on Monday.